So how many of you out there are really wanting to take things to the next level in your life? You're really wanting to become your own boss, create a company around yourself or business that allows you to make money no matter where you're at, no matter where you're positioned at, whether you're home, vacation, on the other side of the globe, something that allows you to become profitable and something that allows you to also not have to spend all day doing it, meaning becoming stressed out, sitting at a desk, on the move constantly, just being able to sit in front of these monitors or a couple charts and being able to really read what's going on in the market, take a few trades or even one trade and make some decent capital, okay? Make a good income for a living, whether you do it part-time, maybe you love that 9 to 5 job that you're currently working and you just want a means to be able to make some extra income. You don't need the money maybe, but you just want to be able to, prove to yourself that you can do something else outside of what that 9 to 5 job really entails, okay? It doesn't matter if you work part-time or full-time, like I said, or maybe you're someone that really wants to start doing this full-time for a living, meaning making a full-time income right from your own home, trading an hour or two a day, or maybe just a couple of days a week. It doesn't really matter. I want to show you today a strategy that I actually use. Yes, I consistently do it in my own trading practices, my own trading, the strategy. I have tons of videos here on the channel. So if you're someone that's new to watching the channel, or you've been watching videos here on this channel and you just haven't taken the time to click on that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? I'm going to give you like 5 seconds to go ahead, find your way down, look for that button. I think it's red, maybe black now, that says subscribe. Either way, click on it. Join the team here. Join the community over on the Discord as well. You can find the Discord link down in the description portion of the video. But first and foremost, click on the subscribe button, okay? Do yourself that favor. Make sure all your post notifications are turned on so you never miss one of the uploads. Guys, you can come over and ask our community members. I give away a lot of information for free, pretty much everything, in a sense. I just want to see people succeed, all right? I believe in passing things forward, and each one teach one. That's kind of the model here, is that if you learn something from me, then pass it along to the next person, all right? We need to see people becoming more successful in life. There's so many people that are left behind, but they have so much drive and ambition to try to get to the top, but they just don't know which ladder, which steps to take to get there. So that's the reason why I created this channel, was to truly help passionate people who are passionate about trading now. So let's talk about the strategy. I'm just going to give a quick rundown because look, I'm going to leave this up to you and leave it in your hands. There are so many great videos here on this channel. If you take the time to really just go through the videos, you will clearly pick up on the way I trade, all right? Okay, the strategy. I don't have a trading course to where I'm, or a mentorship program, because I'm giving it away basically for free right here on these videos, guys, on this channel. So it's up to you to educate yourself. It's like I'm putting together a library, and all you have to do is go in that library, select those books, and spend your time watching them versus reading. Watching them. But you need to read the market, okay? You're going to have to do that if you really want to become successful, because anybody that's been following the channel knows what? Market structure and price action, especially if you're a profitable trader today. You know that is the key to becoming profitable, and that will be the transition from you, whether it is you leaving your full-time 9 to 5 job and seeking a professional career trading, to where maybe you're working 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and now you only have to work an hour or two today. I just want to show you how I do it in my own trading on the daily. So what I have in front of me are a couple of charts, okay? But primarily what I use when trading is just a higher time frame and a lower time frame. I use the higher time frame to let me know, or to show me, or to depict which way the market is moving, so I can depict which way I need to trade, okay? Up or down, okay? I'm not interested really trading in the middle, where the market is ranging or consolidating, all right? So I want to show you what I have here is a chart of the S&P 500. This is the ES futures. Yes, here on the channel, we trade the future markets, okay? Primarily the index or indices, all right? It could be the NASDAQ, the ES, the Dow, the Russell. And if you don't trade the indices, you trade some other market when it's tied to the futures, that's fine. Maybe you trade some of the commodities. Maybe you trade some of the currencies. It doesn't really matter, okay? Because the strategy I'm going to show you, kind of give you a brief rundown through, it works regardless. Supply and demand is universal. I'll say that again. Supply and demand can be traded and used Doesn't matter the market, okay? And all it is aggressive areas of buying and selling. We're talking about the banks and the institutions because they're the ones that drive the market. So without further ado, let's go ahead. I know I've been rambling enough. Let's talk about, but first and foremost, if you haven't clicked on that subscribe button, do it now. What are you waiting for? You only have the positives to gain, the benefits from watching the videos and understanding. You will watch your trading transform, okay? Not say overnight because you got to spend time and educate yourself and put in the work, but you'll slowly start to see your trading transition from, if you're someone that's, not making money, you're up and down, you'll slowly watch things to transform or for you to where you start to see some profitability, okay? Just take that time, okay? I'm not guaranteeing anything because, each person is different, all right? And I know that what stands in the way of a lot of traders is up here, okay? The psychology part, all right? So what I like to do is just basically look at a higher time frame chart, all right, and gauge what the market is actually doing. Is it up or down? Is it moving? What direction? We have a bullish bias or a bearish directional bias? All right, so from October the 6th moving into the latter part of last week, the 13th, which was Friday, the market was moving higher, okay? And then, last week, somewhere towards the end of last week, we started breaking structure to the upside. So breaking structure means to the upside means that we're taking out levels or areas of structure. Breaking structure to the downside means we're taking out areas or levels to the downside. We took out an area of structure, a level here below 43.77. Now, this is a higher time frame chart that I use, a 60 range chart. You can use whatever higher time frame you want to use, okay? Because I strictly, I recommend looking at a higher time frame before you get started, just to kind of give you an idea which way you need to possibly trade, all right? And those that are more experienced and professional traders, you know that there are lots of times where you don't even need to look at the higher time frame, and you can choose to trade strictly from a lower time frame if you really know how to pay close attention to market structure and really price it and pay close attention to what the market is doing when it comes to price action. There's areas that you can trade. The moves may be smaller, but those are scalps. I'm a scalp trader by heart, by the day, in trading, okay? So, again, this video is for those that are looking to really maybe get out of their 9 to 5. I'm not telling you to quit your job, okay? Because, look, you need to have enough capital put away, first and foremost, to be able to live off of, survive off of, but as well as put enough money into savings to be able to put some money into your brokerage account if you really wanted to take that move. Honestly, I wouldn't quit my 9 to 5 or stop or whatever the case may be until you really have proven to yourself that you can do this. Just treat it as a hobby in the meantime till you can build consistently and become profitable, all right? Meaning be consistent each day. So the market is moving to the upside here. We got a breaker structure below 77 right here, right? Once I see a breaker structure to the downside off of a higher time frame, I'm looking for opportunities to go short, okay? All right, if I'm following in the direction of the higher time frame. New beginner traders, please follow in the direction of the higher time frame. That's going to be your best means or best bet. So the market made a low here, a lower high, followed by a lower low, broke structure here. When it broke below this level here, pull back, okay? Pull back. Where did it pull back into? This is a key area of supply right here, okay? Key area of supply. Now, if I was interested and I marked this zone right here, okay? We'll go ahead and mark this as a supply zone because it is, okay? It's untested as well on the higher time frame. All right, so when the market started moving back to the upside, made a high here, a higher low, and higher high, retracing back to this zone here, it didn't break any structure back to the upside. So it tells me that if the market rejects this area here, that we're going to come back and test the lows down here, okay? The low off this swing on the retracement back to the upside and possibly lower. Why possibly lower? Because when price made this push to the downside and broke structure right here at 77, it broke below this level here. And if we look below here, now we did tap into this area of resistance right here, but this basically is an area of demand resting right here. So when you get a structure break and a break lower and price pulls back to a key area of supply, and you look below after it's taking out levels as well, and you see there's a key area of demand, price likes to do that. It likes to retrace back at the breaking structure to the downside to a key area of supply. Then if I got demand resting below, okay, where price is taking out taking out levels, I'm going to aim for this area, and that's what the market did. It came up here, tapped into 4405, 4402, 4405, 4406 area in this demand zone right here. We're not taking the trade off the higher time frame. We're looking to scale down or move down to a lower time frame chart. For me, I use my 12 range chart as an entry point or entry chart, okay, primarily. All right. So the market, if we scale down to the lower time frame, which I'm going to show you here, it rejected, okay. But prior to that, what I'm noticing is that we've got these areas of imbalances or gaps back down to the demand zone right here, okay. All right, price pushed up, broke structure to the downside, retraced back, supply, demand. It's going to test that area, okay. Again, we're not taking the trade off the higher time frame chart unless you got enough capital to where you love taking swing trades or position trades, primarily swing trades, to where you can weather the storm on all this pullback, because you don't see it here on the 60 range or even on a 60-minute chart or higher time frame. But when price does reject this area, say this red candle here, it's going to have a lot of pullback in between, push and pull, before it starts aiming down here. That's the reason why we move down to a lower time frame chart. The lower time frame is going to allow us to get into a better entry point, okay? So let's move down. So this right here was actually on Friday around 10:16, okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, 10:15, 10:16, somewhere in this area here, okay? So we're going to go down, move down to, and let's go ahead before we do that. I just wanted to kind of just mark this up here so we can see it on the 12 range chart as well, all charts. That way it's going to show up on the lower entry chart or lower time frame chart we're looking to take a trade from. All right. But immediately when price retraces back to this area here and we see it on a lower time frame, we just do not jump into the trade. Part of my strategy is I want to see price take out some area. Okay. I want to see price proven to me and show me that it still wants to move to the downside. Okay. My aim, my target is this area here because it's the key area, essential area of demand that rests below. Okay. Because look, price broke structure here as well, right? Broke to the upside, all right? Pull back, broke structure on the means to the upside. This is, again, a demand area. What is demand? Anyone that's currently watching this and does not know what what supply and demand is all about and what it means, please watch some of the videos, okay? Demand means aggressive buying. In this case here, we got a demand zone resting down here. So I'm going to mark this area. Excuse me. Mark it right quick. Has price tapped 100% to the zone yet? No. Now, I don't know what the market's going to do when it reopens here at 6 p.m. Eastern time, okay, into the overnight session. It's probably going to come down here and test this area, and it may just gap down, tested it, and then, we'll see what the market does when it opens. It may have already gapped down by the time it opens, tested this area, maybe rejected it. I'm not sure, so we'll see what happens. But as it stands right now, it has not tested this demand zone. All right, so let's move down now to the lower time frame to see, the complete setup, what we look for. We've already identified what's going on in the lower time frame. I'm interested in going shorts. I've already marked my supply zone because we got the break of structure right here, okay, below this area here. This is aggressive selling. Aggressive selling is this supply area, coming from the supply area here, okay. So when the market retraces back to this area, the zone right here, then I'm going to scale down to my lower time frame, okay, and show you what happened or show you what we should be looking for next as far as the process of the strategy or the steps of the strategy, okay. So take a look. All right, so disregard this green box, this little arrow right here. This box right here, that's that 60 range supply zone, okay. Now, this box I drew right here, I took a long entry. It didn't have anything to do with the higher time frame. I was just trading based on what I saw activity-wise or price action was unfolding on my lower time frame only, the 12 range chart. So disregard this box here, disregard everything else, okay? Because what I don't want to show you here is that when price taps into this higher time frame supply zone, what we want to look for at that point is basically, this is where you get into the opportunity of taking bigger positions or bigger trades, okay? Using primarily two charts, a higher time frame and a lower time frame chart. Use the higher time frame to let you know what the bias is. That means either the market is moving up or down, and it allows you to determine which way to trade. Number two, using the lower time frame to actually get into the trade, but we must see something unfold on the lower time frame first once it taps into either a supply or demand zone off the higher time frame, okay? So when price retraces back to that 60 range, the higher time frame supply zone, what I want to see then is just basically a break of structure, okay? Meaning price is breaking structure to the upside. Now we want to see breaking structure to the upside once it on the retracement back to the supply zone. Then I want to see price break structure to the downside. When I see that prices tap into the higher time frame supply, okay, we're bearish on the higher time frame, then it breaks structure on the lower time frame, okay, break structure on the lower time frame. I'm looking for a pullback to a new, okay, or a supply zone on the lower time frame, okay? So we're just marking up supply and supply. Supply on the higher time frame, supply on the lower time frame to take our shot to go short. Now we're aiming for areas of areas where there are areas with gaps that need to be filled, or take out areas of liquidity, or even looking at the higher time frame, like I just showed you right here. There's a major area of, if you look here, okay, there's a major area of gap where gaps need to be filled right here, back to the downside, a major area of demand. So this again will be a demand setup, a supply setup from the higher time frame, aiming for demand below. Okay, price is proven and shown that it's already taken out major levels. Okay, now when it taps back into that supply zone, the higher time frame, again, I'm scaling down to my lower time frame to get a better entry point to aim for what? That area of demand off the higher time frame. So I'm using the higher time frame chart to mark up a target area, okay, an area I'm interested to take profit at. All right, so let's go over here. All right, now capturing these bigger moves like this is going to allow you to be able to just look for one trade a day. You take a trade like this, especially on the ES, okay, because it moves at $12.50 a tick. Even trading one contract, I assure you, most of you are going to end up making or be profitable, making more money than you do probably working at a 9-to-5 job. Okay, again, I'm not telling anyone to quit their job, for one, but at some point, maybe you are getting ready to retire, or maybe you're looking to have a shift from one career to the next, like I did. You're trying to find something else or another means to be able to do what you love to do, most. And I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about spending time with your family and carving out a life for yourself, and where you're not stressed out, having to get up every single day, get dressed, go to work, come home. Life being so routine, but enjoying the fruits of your labor, maybe just working an hour or two a day sitting in front of these charts. Again, let's get back to the video. I know I can get off topic and start talking about things, but I'm trying to touch base with the average, the average person out there, okay, that's really wanting a change, a pace in their own life. So price taps into that zone, higher time frame. I'm looking for now a break of structure below, okay? So break of structure happens right here. We broke this area here below 94. When price breaks that area back below 94, you just basically look for a pullback to a key area of say supply. Okay, now and looking at this right here, this is a little choppy. It gets a little nasty here because we really don't see any direct area of where the market is really just capsizing to the downside on after right here. Okay, all right, because we got to move here, a low, lower, high, boom, to the downside. Got a lot of choppy activity right here. Okay, all right, and primarily what I like to look for on a pullback is a gap back at the supply zone, in this case here, meaning, where there's a area that the market pushed low quick to the downside and it didn't fill. And the reason why is because the market has to fill gaps. It has to, because if the market is breaking strong to the down, let's just take a look at this. Here's breaking to the upside, right? One candle, another candle, another candle. The market has to move. It has to push up, pull back, push up, pull back. And on its pullbacks, it's got to fill every area of gap left in between candles. If it's not doing that and it's pushing in either direction, up or down, hard, then what happens there is that there are orders that are left behind that didn't get filled. The market has to come back to those areas, okay? So when you see a gap like that left at a supply or demand zone, that makes the trade or increases the probability of things working out in your favor. Now, this trade here, we already see, based on the higher time frame, that the market, when it pulled back here, okay, this is a solid supply zone right here, okay? So the market has to fill those areas of gaps right here, all right? And it did when it came back to this area here. And below, we got to fill these gaps to the downside. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen. But if we can get into, like I said, a more precise entry off the lower time frame, then we can aim for that higher time frame area of target, which I just showed. Okay, so we're looking here and we see price push lower. No major force really to the downside. It's kind of choppy moving down, and then it pulls back. So this could be a little bit tough for some people to actually get into a trade because, one, there's no aggressive force to the downside, meaning lots of selling, and two, there's no major gaps back to the upside. So maybe you want to wait for, I don't know, maybe the next breaking structure to the downside. But for me, if I see any kind of rejection when price pulls back, even if it pulls back to a retested area or zone, there's a possibility I may take a trade. More than likely, you guys that have been watching the channel, I primarily won't trade something like this because there was no gap there. I like to trade high probability setups, and because there was no gap or where I don't see any aggressive area of selling. Now this is, in an aggressive area right here on the lower time frame, red candle. This candle here, I don't really, or this wick here with no body on it, I don't like. This little hammer candle to the downside, it's just really not enough aggressive force to the downside with, showing me aggressive supply. Okay, but you see what happened. Price comes back to this area right here. What this is, a tested supply area. It does reject it, and then it pushes lower. Now, what you can do is you can also wait for maybe another entry or another setup to unfold, and you see what happens. We get further structural breaks to the downside. Okay, we got push down, pull back, boom, aggressive selling to the downside, taking out structure right here. But we don't get any major pullback to any key area supply right up in here yet. Okay, and it can still happen, but more than likely it's probably going to continue pushing lower without coming back and testing these zones like it should. Or I'm not saying should, because the market's going to do what it wants to do. But typically what we see, is broke structure right here. Okay, another area structure, and it didn't immediately pull back. Okay, so what I would do is just look for an area to be able to get into the trade. Once price breaks structure to the left hand side of the chart as it's moving lower and making lower lows and lower highs, then just start to see if you start to get continuations of where there's breaking structure to the downside. Like right here, we got a push lower here. Okay, lower high, push lower, breaking structure. Pull back here, okay, lower high, and then breaking structure. All right, I got into a trade right here in this area right here because I saw this breaking structure to the downside right here. Okay, let's talk about it. I'll show you how the market was moving after it broke this area structure here at 94. It pushed down here, pulled up, push down, pull back. So it's making lower lows and lower highs. All right, and this right here was a breaking structure below right here, below this area right here, breaking structure below 84. So how do we trade something like that? I'm going to show you what I did. But one thing it didn't do, I'm going to say this, it didn't pull back the supply right here. It basically pulled back to this area of resistance. And most times I won't trade an area of resistance, but I saw that I couldn't get into a trade, after, basically seeing what unfolded right here. So I was just trying to catch it as it was moving lower because I knew what it's aiming for is that demand off that higher time frame. All right, so we got a low, lower high, and aggressive selling right here. See that? Red candle, red candle, red candle, red candle. 4 red candles. That's aggressive. Anything I see that's 3 candles or more on the lower time frame, like the 12 range chart, that's aggressive selling to me, okay? And that I'm gonna treat that as either an area of supply or demand, okay? So when price pushed lower here, you see this red box right here outlined in the blue. This is a supply zone, okay? I'm trying to get into the trade because it's running to the downside and it's really not giving me, a good, at this point here, I was looking for a good area to get into the market to take that continuation ride to the downside because the higher time frames already show me that we've tapped into a supply zone, okay? So all I'm looking for now, again, is a pullback to a supply zone on the lower time frame to take the continuation of the move to the downside, all right? So in this case here, the market didn't pull back to that supply zone. What it did was it pulled right back to support, not support, resistance. And what I noticed at this point and paying close attention to price action was this right here. Let me show you. The candle pushed down right here, okay? Then this next bullish candle pushed to the upside, all right? Right here, okay? Now, it didn't start pulling back and started breaking these candles back to the upside. So, they like to trick you out, all right? And sometimes price may not come back and test the supply zone. It may come back to an area of resistance like it did right here, reject and push lower. Now, I did take this trade because, price was rejecting this area of resistance, but I pay close attention, very close attention. That last bearish candle right here, bullish candle to the upside. It didn't start breaking or taking candles out back to the upside. It turned back right here. I got this bearish candle right here. So when I saw that, I said, okay, does not look like we're pulling any higher to pull back to the supply area right here. All right, I was waiting on that, but it didn't. It rejected this area resistance, like I said. So we got that bearish candle right there with no breaks of candles back to the upside, meaning no bullish candles breaking above these bearish candles back to the upside. We got a bearish candle to the downside. I saw that, and I was waiting right at that point. Then the next bearish candle I saw close to the downside, short. That was short right there, okay? Short opportunity. So what I'm trying to say is you got to pay close attention to the structure of the market and price action. But the actual trade, or setup is very simple. We're looking for price to take out areas of structure in one way or the other on the higher time frame. Just like I showed you here. The higher time frame, we started taking out structure back to the downside here. Move, okay, we made a low, lower high, lower low, taking out structure here. Then we mark our zone, pull back, or retrace to a higher time frame supply zone in this case here. All we want to do is to scale down to the lower time frame and look for a supply zone setup. That's all we are doing. We're looking for and what forms a supply area, okay, or a creation of a supply zone setup is a break of structure back to the downside. If the candles were red, we got, say for instance, like coming out of here. All right, pullback, red, 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 red. And it was just this solid red candle, say for instance, that's going to let us know we've got strong selling to the downside. All right, then we got a retracement. Okay, let's just say I could mark this area right here. Let's say this was our supply zone. Okay, right here. All right, on the lower time frame after we broke through this area of 43.94, and if I saw aggressive selling, which we did, it was kind of a little choppy right here, but this is still aggressive selling. But again, I want to see a gap back up to this zone right here, okay? Back up to the supply zone. And we didn't really have that, so that's not really a high probability setup for me, but it still unfolded that way to where it rejected it and pushed lower. Again, ultimately what I want to see is red candle, red candle, red candle, red candle, with a gap left back at the zone. Then we get a pullback here. Then we get a full body close of a candle to the downside. I'm short. Okay, I'm short. And at that point, you've gotten yourself into a precise entry point. So what happens is, as the market continues running lower, you don't even care at that point, because as it's moving lower, as long as it doesn't break back above, because your entry is probably going to be somewhere about 97, maybe 96. Okay, as long as it doesn't break above that area, you're still break even at this point right here, and it stays below. The aim is going to be for this target area. Let me show you back on the higher time frame. Target area down here around 37. So you're talking about getting in again. What was that at? 96 or 97 area, right around here. Okay, and the market keeps us running lower. It's going to have its pullbacks, all right. And lots of time people get out of a trade because when they start scaling down to a lower time frame chart, and then where price breaks structure back to the upside, they typically get out because they think the market is going to turn back around, and it could turn back around and start pushing higher, because we don't know what the market's ultimately going to do. We're only trading based on probability of where price can, what it's doing, okay, on a higher time frame, and what the overall goal or target place is going to be. As we see, it even broke structure back to the upside here, and then continue running lower. So it pushed lower, pull back, push lower, pull back, push lower, broke structure back here to the upside, then it breaks structure back to the downside, and now right now it's just moving sideways as of the close of the market on Friday. So what it may try to do, I'm sure, more than likely, is test that area of demand I just showed you on the higher time frame, and then the market is going to decide what it's going to do. More than likely, if it hits this area of demand, fills the gap back at it, then it's probably going to take back up to the upside, because we got aggressive buying right here. So price likes to move from areas between supply and demand, especially when you see you've got those gaps that have to be filled. A pullback to a key area supply, all right, and then we got demand resting below it, and there's areas to fill. Price is going to fill those areas at some point, not immediately, I'm saying, but at some point it will. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, so as you can understand and see how you can take great trade probability setups to where you can get into long-lasting trades, even one trade a day, picking up multiple points. And one trade like this a day is primarily, I'll be honest with you, you get into a trade like this where you capitalize at 96, say for instance getting in, and then it runs all the way down here to say 38, 37 area. You don't need to trade for the rest of the week. You're one and done, not just one and done for the day, but one and done for the rest of the week. But anyways, that's the trade setup. This is a way of how to really escape the rat race of having to go to the 9 to 5 every single day and becoming your own boss. So anyways, I thank everyone tuning in and watching the video. Again, if you have not subscribed, go ahead. I'm talking to you guys out there that have not right now. You've been watching the videos and you just haven't clicked on that button yet. Take time, look below, subscribe, click on it, turn your post notifications on. And last but not least, please drop a like on the video, all right? I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Tomorrow, the trading session opens tonight, but tomorrow I'll see everyone back on the trading floor on the Discord channel. Again, if you have not joined the Discord, find that link down in the description portion of the video. Take care and have a great rest of your weekend.